Oh, hold on, I'll be right back. No, just let it go.
All right. Corey will be back here momentarily. He forgot something. To start things out, though, I'll get us started. Today's Wednesday, February 8th, 2017. Episode 44 Across the Goal Line today. What the hell are you doing? You're ridiculous. Anyways, we have wrestling here a little bit later on. We have some football to talk about today. Super Bowl 51 just happened this past Sunday down in Houston. Patriots defeated the Falcons. We'll get to that here in a second. But as I said, today's episode 44 of Across the Goal Line. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and Instagram at ATGL16. Subscribe on YouTube, email us at acrossgoalline2016 at gmail.com if you have any questions or concerns. Question of the day today. Hockey game tonight. Seems like Wednesdays are turning into a hockey night. Blackhawks are playing the Wild. Only hockey game on tonight, too, by the way, on NBC Sports Network at 8 o'clock. I'm going to take the Wild. We talked about them a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. They're really surprising. They are for me. So I'm going to take the Wild. I think they'd pick up another win. You don't care who's going to win?
No, it's the Wild.
All right.
They have a great home record.
Okay. So we're both going to take the Minnesota Wild. And then without further ado, he's being all glorious on us today. We'll get back into wrestling later on in another episode. But let's get into what happened on Sunday at Super Bowl 51.
Yeah, Super Bowl 51. The New England Patriots winning, and my victory moment right there.
Yes. Okay, I see what you're doing there. All right.
Yes.
Because he beat me in both polls, I guess you could call it, record-wise.
3.
Well, call it there. Yeah, there was a total of 3, but both of them meaning college football and the NFL. So he beat me in that. We'll see if we have a little championship celebration in the wrestling episode. We'll have to see. But you beat me because you picked the Patriots.
Yes.
I picked the Falcons. And what a game it was.
Yeah, what a game. Patriots win 34-28 in overtime, the first ever overtime game in Super Bowl history.
I didn't think it was I didn't think that was ever going to happen, to be honest with you. I mean, it's come close in the past. The Patriots on the verge of that before. Vinatieri had kicked 2 game-winning field goals, which ended up being 2 Super Bowl wins in Super Bowl 36 and 38. But, they needed overtime this year, and they ended up pulling it out.
Yeah, a bunch of history being made in this game.
Yeah.
Not just the players, but the game itself. We'll start at halftime. The Patriots are down 21-3, and actually gets to 28-3 early in the third quarter.
Yeah,
so they're down by 25 points.
Yeah, the first half really wasn't anything spectacular. It was scoreless after the end of the first, and then it was 14-0 there for a little bit. Atlanta went up 21-0 then, and then New England kicked the field goal there to close out the half. So it's 21-3 at halftime, like you said. The halftime show was great, I thought. The only good thing for the Patriots fans was the halftime show until the fourth quarter, pretty much. 28-3 then, early in the third, and the Patriots are down 25. So before that, the largest comeback in a Super Bowl was 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
And that has obviously been surpassed.
Yes. And the 25-point comeback is the largest in Super Bowl history. 3 teams were down by 10 and came back.
But the Patriots being one of them.
Yes. The Patriots is, yes. And 25 points. An astronomical comeback. That's probably one of the better comebacks in NFL history, not just Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because
going back to the AFL, before the NFL merger, I should say, when we had the AFL, NFL, 3 Super Bowls, and then the NFL championships before that. Going the whole way back there, especially the 1958 championship, the 1962 championship. 2 great comebacks. The Baltimore Colts won in 58, and then I believe the Browns won in 62, if I'm not mistaken. And the 62 game was actually in Houston, and it came down to the final play of the game, like this past Sunday, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, not only was the game fantastic, but Tom Brady obviously put down one of the greatest performances in Super Bowl history, obviously. 466 yards, obviously the most in Super Bowl history.
Yeah.
And it's because he threw 62 times, first of all.
43 completions, which was also another Super Bowl record. Their run game, nothing really got going until that fourth quarter, I thought.
Well, they didn't have any runs the entire game, though, or anything special. They only had minor chunk yards.
And then that goes over to Atlanta. They were running the ball pretty well, I thought, and then they got away from it.
It's not that they got away from it. The Patriots were able to crack down on it a little bit better in the second half later.
They were, but they still could have. The Patriots had 3 timeouts late in the fourth quarter, and it was like with 6 minutes left. Atlanta had got the ball back after that fumble, after New England scored then, and they decided to keep throwing. And I thought if they would have been able to keep running the ball, I don't care. You take time off clock, you make them use their timeouts, and in that point, you don't know what's going to happen then.
Yeah.
So I thought since Atlanta got away from the run game, it hurt them a lot.
Yeah, Brady also winning his 5th Super Bowl, most by any quarterback, and tied for most of anyone at all time.
Yeah, Charles Haley, the only other 5-time Super Bowl champion. So there's only 2 people in NFL history that have 5 Super Bowl rings: Charles Haley and now Tom Brady.
Yes, and he won his 4th MVP of the Super Bowl as well, which is also, again, most all time.
Yeah, he surpassed Joe Montana, who had 3 MVP trophies in Super Bowl.
Yes, who's the guy he surpassed, along with Bradshaw with 4
Yeah.
Super Bowls as a quarterback as well. So, passing Montana a lot here in this game. And then,
who was his idol growing up? Because Brady's from California. He grew up a 49ers fan. He wanted to be all like him, and he turned out even better than him.
Yeah. I talked about last week during the preview who's going to step up for the Patriots. It was James White.
It was a couple other players late in the fourth quarter though too. You had Danny Amendola. Chris Hogan had a decent game, but James White in the end, he scored the game-winning touchdown. He scored the touchdown to tie the game as well, and then Amendola had the 2-point conversion
to actually tie the game.
To actually tie the game at 28 with less than a minute left. And then James White, as I said, he scores the game-winning touchdown in overtime. A lot of people are going to say his knee was down. The replay, it showed his knee was down before the ball reached across the goal line. But more than likely, the Patriots would have punched it in on the very next play. So it really doesn't matter, I mean, yeah, it's a Super Bowl. They should have looked at it. They did, but what can you do about it? So, yeah, exactly. So the Patriots and James White, really, Brady even said he should have been the MVP. But with Brady's performance, as you said, he threw for 466 yards on 43 completions. It's pretty hard not to give it to him.
Yeah. I mean, you can see why White, 2 rushing touchdowns, the big rushing touchdowns, the one to set up the tie late, and then, of course, the game winner as well. But also, the bigger number is he had 14 receptions for 110 yards and a touchdown. That's a Super Bowl record of receiving
who would have
receptions.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, the running back.
A running back with over 100 yards receiving.
Well, 14 catches.
Well, that too, but it's just it's astronomical. You wouldn't have thought about it.
No, you would never probably thought James White would have been the guy to step up.
I actually saw James White play in college. He played for Wisconsin. Wisconsin played at Penn State one year. He was their starting running back.
Yeah, all right. There's a bunch of turning points in this game, I think, that really swung this game on its head towards the Patriots. And you start first with that Matt Ryan fumble.
Yeah, 8:25.
The first turnover by Matt Ryan in the postseason.
Yeah, 8:25 left in the fourth quarter. And they decided to throw, and then he got strip sacked. And New England recovered it, and as I said, they marched down the field. So they're down 20. They're down 6. The Patriots were down 16 at that point. It was 28-12. Should have been 28-13, but Gostkowski missed an extra point. a little bit before that to make it 28-9 there early in the third quarter. But it's 28-12. They're down 16. With that fumble, as I said, they marched down the field and scored. They had to get two 2-point conversions. And that was the first of the two to end up tying the game to go to overtime at the end, which ended up happening. I mean, I think everybody watching this right now watched the Super Bowl. It was one of the most highly watched events of all time, just not for the Super Bowl, events in television history. So made it 28-20. But yeah, I think I agree with you. It all started there with that fumble late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, then you had
to start New England's comeback.
And then you had the Julio Jones catch.
Oh, that was great. That was a great catch.
But then they ran the ball on first down, didn't get anything.
Yeah.
And then they got sacked for 13, Ryan did. And then they tried to get some yards to get back into field goal range because they were in field goal range after that catch. But they do it, holding.
Yeah.
And then they don't get any yards on the following play. They have to punt in that situation to where they were on like the 20, easy Matt Bryant field goal range to where they're about the 50.
Yeah.
They lost 23 yards after that amazing catch by Julio Jones. It's a huge turning point.
Yeah, and as you said, that holding call, the same officials that worked the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game in the divisional round, where Travis Kelce said that call wasn't a holding call, when it clearly was, comes back into this game, they make a holding call late in the game as well. I thought the officials did a great job calling the game.
There's a few things that I saw that were not.
I mean,
exactly good.
It's always like that in every single game. There's calls that aren't called, but when it comes down to it, you have the two best teams left. You just let them play, and with this holding call on Sunday, whether it was a holding call or not,
he was choking the guy.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game. It was the same damn thing, and people were bitching and complaining about that, and then people will say, "Oh, this was a holding call or wasn't a holding call," so on and so forth. But the same officials, I thought they did a great job. I think the 6 of the 9 were in the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game, but yeah, as you said, the holding call backed them up after the catch, and they had to punt. And then New England's only down 8 at that point, and with that, they had to drive the whole length of the field. They still have all 3 of those timeouts, and this goes back to Atlanta running the football. If Atlanta would have kept running the football, make New England use those timeouts, who knows if New England had any timeouts left. They still could have had 3 because Belichick's a mastermind, for God's sakes. He knows when to call them and when not to call them. So who knows if New England would have had those timeouts when they got the ball back then, but you just don't know. But New England ended up getting the ball back and then drove. And as I said, James White scored that touchdown, and then Amendola hit that second 2-point conversion. Then he barely got in, but he got in.
Well, they got an offside on that play anyway, so they would have another chance.
Yes, they did. So then it tied it at 28, and then Atlanta got the ball back with less than a minute left. And they had to punt again, for God's sakes. And then New England just decided to take a knee with a couple seconds left.
Well, no, they ran a Fumbarooski, actually.
Wow, yeah, they did. I forgot about that.
I'm sure with no intentions of actually scoring.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well,
just a last-ditch effort to possibly.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
it was more of a last-ditch effort to possibly get a lucky touchdown, win the game. Then
that would have been crazy if if the game would have ended on that, because we've seen Fumbarooskis happen before. You just don't. You rarely see them.
Yeah.
But it was a great call. I mean, I was oh shit, he's running the Fumbarooski. But yeah, I totally forgot they ran that. I don't know why I said they took a knee, but Atlanta still had their chance then with less than a minute left, and they give the ball back, and so Atlanta had their chances to win this game. They had all the chance. They had so many chances to win on Sunday, and they choked. They blew it.
Well,
I mean, they didn't blow. They didn't blow a 3-1 lead. I mean, they did blow a 3-touchdown lead. So now they join, the Warriors, the Indians. Jordan Spieth choked at the Masters last year. So I think they should go to Choke City, a new what do you want to call it? Resident home for people who choke all the time, just like a nursing home. I mean, hookers blow better than that, for God's sakes. But they blew it. The Falcons blew it on Sunday.
Well, I'm going to get into why I think the game went the way it did here. But the last turning point almost, it was on that last drive, the Julian Edelman catch.
Oh, people are gonna remember that catch for years to come. I mean, people still remember the David Tyree catch in Super Bowl 42 when the Giants beat the Patriots, when the Patriots were 17-0 at the time, and if they would have won, they would have been the second team in NFL history to finish undefeated, joining the 72 Dolphins. But that Amendola catch I knew it was a catch right away. I could tell. I could tell it didn't hit the turf. And then he had full possession underneath it, and then that's what the replay clearly showed. Excuse me. So, yeah, that Edelman catch was phenomenal.
Yeah, and then as to why, this is my own take on why I feel like this game went the way it did, at least late. Even you think about it, the Patriots ran 47 more plays than the Atlanta offense did. They ran 93 total plays.
Yeah, that's what Belichick said. He didn't even know what the play count was when he was talking to Boomer on NFL primetime. He said we had to run at least 90 plays. So it was 93, you said?
Yeah, 93. They kept the Atlanta defense out there for a long time, and you keep that defense out there long enough, they got nice and tired. They were unable to generate a better pass rush that they had been doing earlier in the game. Their corners were probably tired trying to cover guys, and ultimately just keeping them out there obviously made it easier for Tom Brady to pick them apart, which he did effectively. And there was balls that were dropped in the first half, a lot of balls that were dropped by the Patriots early, even Tom Brady missing some throws. That did not happen in the second half or third quarter, halfway through the third quarter and on or whatever. So that's a big turnaround as well. But then the Atlanta offense stalled. They had no points in the fourth quarter in OT. They got crushed in that fourth, and then obviously OT, they didn't even get the ball at all.
Yeah.
So they got outscored 25-0.
And that's the overtime rule. I mean, a lot of people were saying the game was fixed. It was rigged because of the little thing that Fox put up on the screen saying if the Patriots score, they win the game. Well, folks, that's just the rules of the NFL overtime. If you win the coin toss, you obviously want to take the ball because if you score first, you win. If you kick a field goal, the other team gets the ball. If you punt, the other team obviously getting the ball, and if they score or kick a field goal, they win. Now, I think they probably should change it to how it is in college. You know, each team gets to at least possess the ball one time. You keep the kickoff. Don't put it off the 25-yard line because the NFL, it's harder. You know, college kids, it's right to put it at the 25-yard line. They don't have 25 yards to go to score, but you should keep the kickoff in the overtime. But if the first team scores, make that team kick off and give the other team the ball. And if they score, tie it, you go to second overtime, so on and so forth. You know how college overtime is. I think everybody knows. So I think they probably should change it, but will they? Probably not.
Well, probably not, obviously. And then I feel like perhaps maybe some doubt crept into the Falcons, possibly with that pressure, because they were up so big, and then here comes the Patriots storming back. Yeah. Their offense can't get out there to do anything. They're just helpless, and it might have played a part late in that game, especially when Atlanta did get the chance to be on offense. They probably maybe wanted to try to put the Patriots away with some throws, possibly, and just were unable to do it. Where the Falcons got a little bit weaker throughout the game, the Patriots only got stronger.
Yeah.
And I think I joked at one point that the Lady Gaga halftime performance gave the Patriots so much inspiration that they came out fired up in the second half.
That's what I said. I mean, the only good thing for the Patriots was that halftime show until the fourth quarter started.
I said it was just a big inspiration.
I mean, it was a great halftime show. I thought she did a great job, but it's up there with one of the best. But I think Prince's halftime show in 10 years ago, Super Bowl 41, was the best because he was singing Purple Rain, and it was already raining. But then once he started that, it started downpouring even more. But that halftime show is up there, and then I agree with that. I mean, I agree with that. It gave motivation. You know, who knows if somebody on the teams would have been banging her for the past how long or, you know, whatnot. Yeah, it was a good halftime show.
Yeah, but the game, totally wild. Everyone probably turned it off probably about after halftime, I would imagine.
Hell, people left the stadium for God's sakes.
Yes.
People left their parties. Mark Wahlberg was the one who did leave the game. He's a diehard Patriots fan, but he had said his son got sick, so that's why they left. Now, if that's true or not, that's
sick of watching that performance.
That's for him to say. Yeah, they're probably sick of watching them lose. But a lot of people ended up. I didn't turn it off. I mean, it's a football game. It's the last football game of the season. You know, you got to keep it on. And even if it's the middle of the season, you know, and it's a blowout, I still have it on. You know, because it's football. So, a lot of people disappointed in those people.
The people that just couldn't stick around. I did.
Those aren't true fans.
I almost did. I was just like, well, it feels like it's over. Like, what's the point of me watching it anymore? It's not like the commercials were any good anymore.
The commercials sucked. The first commercial of the game has been out for the past how many months?
Yeah.
It's like, it's always the first commercial. That's what people want to watch. People want to watch the first part of the Super Bowl to see the first commercial. That commercial's been out for a while. I thought all of them pretty much sucked. The Mr. Clean one was somewhat funny, but not really. But the rest of them I thought sucked.
Well, the weird thing about them is just like, they're very vague, I would have to say.
Yeah, I mean...
They're showing some like weird landscapes and all of a sudden Chevy, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like something that doesn't even pertain to Chevy at all, and then it's just, it's a car commercial in the end. It's totally weird, and I like joking around. I'm like, as soon as the commercial starts, I start guessing what it is.
Yeah, that's how I am too. I knew that the Ford one that happened early in the game, I knew it was a Ford commercial because I could tell what type of truck it was whenever he backed up and pulled the car out of the ditch, and then it ended up being a Ford commercial in the end. But in past years, they have gone down in commercials. They've gotten worse. But you always have your good ones, your all right ones, and then you have your really bad ones. This year, they're all bad, I thought. I don't think there's any good ones, as I said. And then during the game, they'll start out good, and then, you know, they'll die down and come back up and get good again.
Well, around halftime, I think they start airing more local commercials.
Yeah.
That way, because people got to pee, you know.
Yeah. They got to go to the bathroom, go get their food, get their beer, you know, whatever's at the party that they're at. But the commercials didn't pick back up. It was flat. They're flat the whole entire game. They sucked. So Super Bowl, NFL, next year Super Bowl 52 in Minneapolis, make sure the commercials are 10 times better. I mean, I can understand why they might have sucked so bad and why there wasn't a whole lot of them. A 30-second commercial is $5 million, for God's sakes. Yeah. That's the main reason why I think, you know, people, the companies, they don't want to pay the money for just a 30-second commercial when people already know who they are, what they are, and what they're about. So, or even where they are. So, I mean, I thought they sucked, but they could have been better.
Obviously, I mean, it's usually all the time. There's ones out there you're like, that wasn't too great. No beer commercials. Those are normally the most prominent ones.
There's one Budweiser one and one Bud Light one. Yeah. But there's normally Miller, Coors, Heineken. Exactly. But there's only one Budweiser, and Anheuser-Busch is getting slack for it because it was an immigration one, how they came to the U.S. and started making their beer. A lot of people were getting on them about it because with all the Trump immigration stuff, building the wall now, all that, people are getting on Anheuser-Busch, but, you know, they did the right thing. You know, they're trying to make a commercial, you know?
Yeah.
Don't give them slack.
But, yeah, those
commercials. The commercials fucking sucked. I'll come out and say they fucking sucked.
Which is like half the experience of the
Exactly. Super Bowl. That's what people who don't even watch football, they watch Super Bowl for the commercials.
Yeah.
You know, my mom's one of them. She hates football. She cannot stand it. She cannot stand sports. And we watch the Super Bowl every year, for God's sakes. And she watches it because of the commercials. She even said they fucking sucked. So, and they did. And I think we'll leave it at that. The commercial sucked.
For the commercial's sake, yes, we will leave it at that. Won't beat a dead horse anymore than we have to.
Because we've been going on for the past 5 minutes about it.
Yeah, but as for the game, we'll finish with the game because that's what this is all about, of course. The game, certainly very exciting there at the end. I'm sure a lot of people were turning their TVs back on.
If they turn them off.
And tuning in, which is why it was so highly rated, I think. When people started seeing that the Patriots were coming back, I'm sure everyone had to tune in. And they're like, oh my goodness, the Patriots, what the hell's going on here? You know, because I'm sure, me included, I was like, after that pick six, I was like, oh, this is over, isn't it? It felt like it was over after that pick six by Brady.
Yeah, I forgot about that too, because I was in the first half, and the second half that was all the excitement. With that interception too, he passed Brett Favre for the most interceptions in a postseason of all time. So Brett Favre does not own that record anymore. Tom Brady does. And that's one record you do not want to have, but, you know, he's a 5-time Super Bowl champion, a 4-time Super Bowl MVP, so he really doesn't give a shit, does he?
I doubt he does. But yeah, great moment though, you know, at the end. Of course, the Patriots win, and there's Roger Goodell having to give him the trophy.
Yeah. It was,
and you can't even hear what he's saying, basically, because the crowd's booing him. Because they're all Patriots fans, obviously.
And I think there could have been some Falcons fans in there, too, booing him. Because he sucks as a commissioner. He's one of the worst commissioners the NFL has ever had and ever will have. The NFL back to the no fun league as what people thought it once was. Well, now it is that. You know, football is still fun to watch, especially college football, but then there's some things in the NFL I just cannot stand because the game has changed so much within the past 10 years, and I think I've talked about it before. You can't even hit anybody to Roger Goodell and the NFL, with the Patriots and Tom Brady winning their 5th Super Bowl championship, along with Bill Belichick as well. He's going to go down as probably the greatest head coach of all time, but it was a big fuck you to the NFL and Roger Goodell with the Patriots winning. Is what it was.
Yep. That was the NFL season right there. Long season.
It was a long season. It does come to an end. I won't end on this, but because I still want to say some more stuff. But both the college football season and the NFL season were great, as they normally are. Both championship games were awesome. They came down to the final play of the game. Had people on the edge of their seat, including me. And now we'll have to see if Clemson and the New England Patriots, I was thinking of Alabama because Steve Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator, goes to be the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons now because Kyle Shanahan did get the San Francisco 49ers job, as many thought. We'll have to see if Clemson and the New England Patriots can repeat next year. The Patriots won Super Bowl 49. They won 51. There's a year in between. So let's see if they can repeat. Go for 3 and 4 years again, as they once did back in Super Bowl 36, 38, and 39. They won 3 and 4 years then. So we'll have to see about that. Then if they do win next year, they would tie the Pittsburgh Steelers for most Super Bowl championships in the NFL with 6. So a lot of people are on the Patriots. Best team of all time, best franchise of all time. Yeah, they have 5 Super Bowl championships, but the Pittsburgh Steelers still have 6. And they still have a better win percentage in the Super Bowl. They've only played in 8 of them. They only have 2 losses. They're 6-2. The Patriots are now 5-4, but they still have 4 Super Bowl losses. 2 to Eli Manning and the Giants, and then to the Bears back in the 80s. What else do I have here? I mean, we pretty much hit everything that I wanted to say. I mean, Dan Quinn, you got to feel bad for him somewhat. I think the reason why he did bring Sark in to be their new offense coordinator now, he worked with him at USC under Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll brought Dan Quinn to the Seahawks. He ends up in Atlanta as a head coach. Sark stayed in college until he got in trouble, and then he was an analyst at Alabama. So the connection there, a lot of people were raising eyebrows at you yesterday about it. But I think it's a good fit. We'll have to see how it works out. You got to feel bad for Dan Quinn. He loses to the Patriots of all teams 2 times in 3 years in the Super Bowl. on the last play of the game, pretty much. Because you go back to Super Bowl 49, that interception at the goal line. But Matt Ryan, great season. He named MVP, as we both thought. The Falcons had a great season, but as I said earlier, they blew it. They choked when it came down to it in the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl. So we'll have to see if they can get back on track. Look at last year, the Carolina Panthers. Teams that win the Super Bowl, talking about the Patriots, they normally don't come back and make the playoffs, the year after. The Patriots have been able to do that. Now, the team losing the Super Bowl, they normally don't come back to the playoffs either. Look at the Panthers last year. They finished last in their division, for God's sakes. So, we'll have to see if the Falcons, they do have a new offense coordinator that just said, Steve Sarkisian. See what he can do. So we'll have to see if the Falcons can get back into play next year. Did you have any questions for me? You normally have some questions, throughout the show when we're talking about stuff. No, I have some for you then. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Tom Brady just won his 5th Super Bowl, 4th MVP in the Super Bowl. Do you think he's the best quarterback of all time?
Easily.
I gotta agree with you because it's a little hard not to say he's not. If you are an old school fan, you grew up in the 1970s and 80s with the Bradshaws and the Montanas, I can understand why you say that. But you've also been able to see all of Brady's career as well. Both of us, we didn't see Bradshaw and Montana play in their prime. We can go back and watch replays, highlights and stuff like that, but see. But it's a little hard not to say that Brady's not because of that. Now, is he the greatest player of all time? I don't know. It's a little hard to compare positions. When you agree with me on that? Because you can't compare. It's a little hard to compare I talked to you about it earlier, a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback over a 2-time Super Bowl winning, say, running back or wide receiver, because they're good at their position as well. So it's a little hard to compare positions, but I think I'm going to make a list, and I was planning on it actually before the Super Bowl, and Corey can join in on me if he wants to. I'm going to make a list of the top 100 greatest players of all time, and a list of the greatest players that we've seen play since we were born. So we'll start in 1996. You were born in November of 95. So it's right there on the cutoff. I was born in March of 96, so I'll be 21 next month. He's already 21. I'm surprised you're not cracking beers on this show yet.
I don't drink.
Well, neither do I, because I can't. But, anyways, we're going to make a list of the greatest players of all time and the greatest players I am, for that matter. As I said, he can join in if he wants to. And the greatest players since 1996 and on that we've been able to see play. And hopefully we'll get to that by the end of April, by the draft, because that's at the end of April. But we've got the Combine, and then you got free agency coming up, both in March. The Combine's a week late this year, and then the draft is still at the end of April. So we'll get that going, get things flowing, keep things flowing as well with the NFL and football. I watch more college football than he does, so I might even do a college football one as well for players that I've seen play since 1996. But, do you have anything else to say about the game? It was a great game. We talked about it already a lot.
You want to have that one question for me?
Well, is Brady the best quarterback of all time, and is he the best player of all time?
Well, I already answered that. But that's all you had for me, at least.
Yeah,
just wondering, because I will finish with saying that fantastic season. I actually did pretty well again this season of predicting who's going to make the playoffs, who's going to maybe win the Super Bowl. I had the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
You did.
I am losing to Green Bay, which, heck, almost even happened. Green Bay fell a step short.
Yeah.
2, if you want to count winning the Super Bowl. And I'm your picks champion.
Yeah, we both came down to the wire. The past 2 games, the AFC and NFC title games, and now the Super Bowl, because I had the Steelers and Packers in the Super Bowl, and they both lost. So both teams came up short. I came up short, and yeah, you beat me.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I'm not surprised about this game in particular. I have been really, really good at picking Super Bowls over the last however many years. The last Super Bowl I've missed was the last time the Giants defeated the Patriots.
I've also done well within the past. Super Bowl 37 was the first Super Bowl I remember watching. The Buccaneers played the Raiders out in San Diego. It was the first year after John Gruden got traded to Tampa Bay, and then he beats his old team in the Super Bowl. I picked Tampa, I remember, because I liked their jerseys. I was how old at the time? Probably 6, 7 years old. 6 years old. So I picked Tampa. We'll run down, because I know who played in each game. 38, I did pick the Patriots to beat the Panthers, and they did on another game-winning field goal. 39, I picked the Eagles because they were from Pennsylvania, and the Steelers had lost to the Patriots in the AFC title game. 40, Pittsburgh, obviously, they were playing in it. 41, I wanted Peyton to win his first title. They beat the Bears. That was Prince's halftime show, that Super Bowl. 42, I picked the Giants over Brady and Belichick and the Patriots, because the Patriots, that was 2007, they were 17-0 at that time. I'm still more of a history guy. I didn't want to see history be broken. I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to see it be broken, but that 72 Dolphins team, they're the only team in NFL history at that point to be undefeated during the season, and it should have stayed like that. So that's why I picked the Giants. 43, the Steelers played again. We'll get into Belichick here in a second too. I'll ask you about him. 43, the Steelers won again. 44, I actually picked your Saints because I thought they were the better team going in. I actually wanted them to play Indianapolis in 41, but they lost to the Bears in the NFC title game. 45, Pittsburgh played Green Bay. They lost. I picked Pittsburgh. 46, you got the Giants and Patriots again. Picked the Giants again. 47, I picked the 49ers because the Ravens, I hate them because they play the Steelers twice.
I got that one right at the beginning of the season. Teams and
really?
Yes. Because the previous season, those 2 teams lost in the title games in kind of controversial, messed up fashion.
Yes,
so the
they
next
did.
season, I said the 2 teams that got kind of screwed or had misfortunes in the championship games, they're going to make the playoffs and they're going to play each other.
And they did.
And I picked the Ravens.
And then 48 was the blowout. Seattle blew out Denver up in New York. And then 49 was the interception at the goal line 2 years ago now. Patriots defeated the Seahawks. I picked the Seahawks. I picked the Seahawks both in 48 and 49. And then 50, I picked Peyton to go out a champion. And then obviously picked the Falcons this year. So there's probably 3 or 4 games, only 3 or 4 times I've not picked the winner of the Super Bowl since Super Bowl 37. Because that's the first Super Bowl I remember watching. Now, I said we'll get into Belichick here in a second. I'll ask you about Belichick now. Do you think he's the greatest head coach of all time?
Once again, obviously, you have to think he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little hard to compare him and Lombardi. 2 different eras. Lombardi, he won a total of 5 championships before the Super Bowl. 3 before the Super Bowl, and then Super Bowl 1 and 2. And now Belichick tied him for most championship wins in the NFL with 5. Now, should they rename the Super Bowl trophy? I don't know. I think if they did rename it, they should rename it the Vince Lombardi, Bill Belichick trophy for the Super Bowl. But will they? Probably not. That could be a question of the week, if you want to agree with me on that. I mean, I had a question on Monday for the day. Is Tom Brady the best player of all time? Not the best quarterback, and I think that's where we'll end, and we'll go with that.
Nope, no,
And
not.
What do you want to use then?
I've been trying to freaking finish this episode now for about 30 minutes. But
Well, I have a lot of stuff to say. You know, it was a great game. It was a great season. Well, go on and finish what you're saying then.
I was in the process of finishing it up.
All right.
With the question of the week this week, which is going to be: is the Falcons the biggest choke? Is this the worst choke in sports even? Maybe
of all time, or
it can
just
either
in the
be
past year?
It can be maybe the past year. We can throw the Indians and the Warriors into that conversation. Between those three, how about that?
All right, yeah.
Is the Falcons choking the 25-point lead worse than the Indians and the Warriors blowing 3-1 leads individually, not combined? And I gotta say, it's the Warriors all the way when I think about it, because the Warriors 3-1 lead, the best regular season team in NBA history. You need to win one game.
Mm-hmm. 2
of those were on your home floor where you barely lose,
yeah.
and they were unable to do that. They choked it away. The Falcons one is a justified one. They didn't blow it. Their offense wasn't even able to be on the field half the time to even help win the game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The Falcons, they didn't really blow it. It's just Brady went out there and won it, I feel like, more so in this game.
Well, that, and then, you know, if the Patriots win, you know, as we said earlier, it's a big middle finger to Goodell in the NFL. I mean, you could say the Indians, but they were playing the Cubs. I think if they were playing somebody else, I think you could have them as the top choke. They're playing the Cubs as 2016. The number 108 was 108 years. All that. The thing with I think it would go the Warriors, the Indians, and then the Falcons. Now the Falcons losing, that might be the biggest choke in the NFL of all time. But in sports, in the past year, I think it would have to go the Warriors, Indians, and then the Falcons Patriots game, because with baseball and basketball, they had three opportunities to win just one game, and they don't even win one game, and the opposing team comes back and wins the series. With the NFL, it's only one game. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a 25-point lead. Yeah, I know that, but I'd agree with you, Warriors, just because, especially with the Cavs, they didn't win a championship for 60 years. A lot of people thought the Cubs were going to win anyway. So, and a lot of people thought the Warriors were going to win, and they didn't. So, you know, the Warriors choking against the Cavs in the NBA Finals, I agree with you on that. For the biggest choke within the past year, we'd have to go back in time into the archives and see what other teams choked in the playoffs, or even at the end of the season to make the playoffs. But we won't get into that today.
Yeah, we won't. And I think that's about it for this edition of Across the Goal Line.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I mean, you know me, though. I like to ramble on and talk.
Yeah.
So
it's going to wrap it up for this edition of Across the Goal Line. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ATGL16. All those links floating around. If you're on the YouTube one, they're in the description below. If you're on Facebook, are they on Facebook page?
I know our YouTube one is. I know I'll share some. I always share some stuff about our Twitter and Instagram on there as well. But it's in our profile picture, in our cover photo, for God's sakes. It has the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, the YouTube, and the Gmail logo, and it has what our handle is for both Twitter and Instagram. Yeah. So it's really not that hard to figure out.
Yeah, just head over to those two.
So just go to those and but they're always in the description for the YouTube if you're watching.
Yeah, like us and follow us on those. And if you have any questions or concerns, email us at acrossthegoalline2016.
I'm always checking that email. We'll get some here and there, but if you have any questions or concerns, just let us know. Yeah, you can also follow us on Twitter as well at CMH14 at CoolAndLuke96. Yep, for Luke there. And with going back to that releasing the top players of all time and stuff like that, I'll probably end up putting it out on Twitter release it, and then I mean, who knows? We could stretch this thing out the whole way until next football season if we wanted to, and do it in chunks of 10. do like 5 or 10 at a time, 10 or something per episode, and because that gives us football to talk about over the summer and stuff like that. So we might end up doing it like that. We don't know. Actually, just thought of it today. So I don't have anything else to say. You good?
Yeah, and for that, for Luke Goddard and Corey Maines, that has been across the line for this week. Hop on over. We're going to get right quick to it.
Yeah.
WWE Elimination Chamber predictions. So we'll see you there.
That's this Sunday on WWE Network for only $9.99. We'll be right back with that. So go watch that.